Hello, this is Professor Warwath. I wanted to talk about a topic that we rarely talk about in MEM or at McCormick in general, and that is the alumni network. I think the alumni network is actually one of the, if you want to call it secret weapons, or one of the key differentiators between Northwestern and a lot of other public universities, a lot of other maybe lesser known universities or very large scale universities, the universities of Michigan, for example, or Iowa State or even University of Illinois. The alumni network at Northwestern involves something like quarter million people, quarter million alum across 160 different countries. Virtually every state of the union has alumni. And as a result, I think what I've found as an alum myself is that these alum are very loyal to each other, even if they've never met each other, even if we're from different years or different schools. There's this tendency to look at fellow Northwestern alum in a very favorable light, at least initially, right? And to give as much help as we can, within reason, of course, right? To fellow alum and fellow, graduates of the various schools that we come from. So let's get started. The famous alum, these are mostly in popular media or popular venues such as late night TV or comedians or models, people like that. So everyone from Julia Louis-Dreyfus, David Schwimmer, Zooey Deschanel, Stephen Colbert, Meghan Markle, Warren Beatty, Anne Margaret, and Cindy Crawford. Now, what was interesting about Cindy Crawford, right, was she was actually quite brilliant. She was given a chemical engineering scholarship, and she lasted less than a quarter, not because she couldn't handle the academics, but because her modeling career was pulling her away from school. So she drops out of school after, I believe it was just one quarter at McCormick, to go on to become the famous actress and famous model that she later became. Anne Margaret and others were literally discovered on campus. So what makes Northwestern special is it attracts special people. And those special people are the ones that often return to the campus to look for other special people who have found their way to Northwestern, usually because of the fact that Northwestern has always had very high standards, right? So that attracts the high quality people that becomes a virtuous circle, right? So those people come back and they know where to look, and oftentimes it'll be in a play or a musical or in a performance of some sort, or in the case of engineering and entrepreneurship, they're giving presentations, they're giving case studies, they're giving research proposals and research reports or startup pitches, right? So we have a lot of startup pitches that attract a lot of entrepreneurs. So I asked Copilot AI, right? I'm asking AI everything these days, right? So tell me about McCormick alumni, right? And this is what it had to say, right? So the leaders that they're going to list out in the next slide basically show McCormick's emphasis on interdisciplinary thinking and technical rigor and entrepreneurial spirit. In many cases, dual degrees with Kellogg, or in some cases, other programs, right? Many of our engineering students have gone on to medical school. They've gone on to law school. McCormick School of Engineering has produced a number of high-impact CEOs. You'll see those in a second or two, from aerospace to biotech, software and finance. Here's just a list of what they call the curated list. This is, again, from Microsoft Copilot, right? So it tells me you've got people from Zipline, and you've got people from Miomo and State Street Global Advisors and Logic Monitor and SpaceX. A whole bunch of folks here that, frankly, are not, not necessarily that well connected, not known to be connected to Northwestern and McCormick. Everything from BS degrees to PhD degrees, and a few masters in between. Perhaps the most famous, that I think is most famous of recent vintage, right, would be Gwen Shotwell. She's the president and COO of SpaceX, as you all know. But you probably don't know that she got her BSME and master's in applied mathematics right here at Northwestern, right here at the McCormick School. Yes, she gives back. Yes, she's, I believe, on the advisory board. Yes, she's occasionally on campus and occasionally gives talks. And if you want to hear what she has to say, then you should definitely try to attend those while you're on campus. these folks, all of them, whether it's the folks on this slide here, or whether it's the folks, like Gwen Shotwell, we also have a lot of alum that are specific to MEM. So while these are McCormick grads, right, the MEM grads are equally impressive, I believe. We have CEOs like Christine Scheiving, Iqbal Ashad, who was effectively the CTO of Motorola Mobility, Shahid Ahmed, who's the COO of Equity, also spent a lot of time at Accenture. I believe he was a partner. Keith Donaldson, CEO of Engineering Materials, Plamen Petrov, CEO of Concord. He's been a CEO of multiple companies now, almost all of them in the AI space, especially AI in healthcare. And then, of course, my own brother, Carl, who's a Chief Transformation Officer at Discover Financial Services. So these are, I would say, somewhat well-known alum who do frequent the campus. They do have occasional office hours. They will occasionally meet with students and give talks. So keep an eye out for them, right? So again, I asked Copilot, what makes MEM grads excel? And here's what they had to say, right? The strategic decision-making tools rooted in systems thinking is at the core of what our program delivers. Okay, systems thinking, but decision-making in that context, right? Specifically, we have courses like 407, which is literally a course in decision tools, how to make better, quantified, optimized decisions, right? Leadership training tailored for tech-driven organizations, cross-functional fluency, again, that horizontal thinking, especially when it comes to product development and operations and finance, right? So what's the result of all this, right? Executives who can lead, innovate, scale complex systems, bridge the gap between engineering and enterprise. So, fundamentally, that is what Copilot has to say about us. I guess I won't argue with the AI. Occasionally AI does get something wrong. I don't think they've hallucinated in this case. So I would be cautious as you use AI. Read every word it gives you and make sure that it doesn't skip anything, because I did find several omissions. For example, Gwen Shotwell was not mentioned. So I had to, go after that myself. So just be aware, you're not always going to get the best answers, but I think you're going to get a really good start to your endeavors by looking at AI. And at the same time, if you're thinking about an MEM degree, Northwestern's got a great pedigree. We've been around now for roughly 150 years. And I hope that we'll be around at least another 150 years. So with that, thank you and take care.